I'll take this off so you can hear me. Although I can project my voice pretty good. Today we're going to talk about your thoughts. Now I know the world is at a crazy time right now, and everybody's thoughts are all over the place with everything that's going on. The presidential election, COVID. We have so much on our minds right now. And I'm going to give you some information that's going to help you today. I want to say to you, the first thing is natural law is always in effect. Law of vibration, law of attraction, law of cause and effect. As we said in our principles, we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. So these laws are part of our guidelines that help us live life to the fullest and to the best that we can. Now we think 10,000 thoughts a day, right? I mean, your brain is always going. Sometimes even when you sleep, your brain still goes, doesn't it? And that's what our brains are meant to do. They're meant to have thoughts. And what happens in a thought, I'm going to get a little nursey on you here for just a moment, but you'll understand. When you think a thought, it travels down a little nerve pathway in your brain. And the more you think that thought, the stronger that pathway gets. In order to change that thought, you need to form a new pathway. They're called neural pathways, for those of you who want to look that up. Google it. And to change that, you need to change the thought consistently. Not just one time, but consistently. You know, our thoughts make our world. And I know that sounds very simplistic, but it's very, very true. What you think is how you are going to perceive the world outside of you. So where do these thoughts come from? Well, some of it is how we grow up. And if you were taught things like you're not good enough or you'll never make it, I have a patient who always says, every time I see her, I have the worst luck. Nothing ever good happens to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry that you want to believe that, but I don't say this to her, but that's what you're drawing to you. So a lot of the times we bring forward thoughts from the past. And then when something happens in our life, it's almost like a trigger. And we'll start to think about that thought down that same old pathway. You know the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a new result. You see, because your thoughts are so powerful, if you had any idea how powerful your thoughts were, you'd really change your thinking. You know, they say a thought goes out like a wave. You know, when a butterfly flaps its wings in Florida, no matter how small that current, it is felt all over the world. So when you're thinking of things in your brain and you notice that that thought's going down that bad pathway, how do you do it? How do you fix it? You say stop, or cancel, or I don't think that way anymore. And then you form a new pathway. I'm going to say this powerful sentence, and I want you to take it in with all of your being. When you think, you are connecting with like-minded people. When you think, you are connecting with like-minded people. So what are your thoughts? Do you have negative thoughts throughout the day? Because you know who you're connecting with. Negative people. Now, it's not that we have to go around and be all Pollyanna, because we do live in this world. But have you ever met somebody who just has such a peace about them, and you get in their presence and you can feel their vibration, and you just feel calmed? That works both ways. If you go into some place and you feel negativity, then you start getting all anxious. And I'm going to tell you, those of you who are watching the news over the past couple weeks can get real anxious watching those things, can't you? But you're buying into that. When you see the riots and you see all the bad going on, you're giving energy to that if you stay on that thought. Are you not? Because you're putting that thought out. All you have to do is change that thought. It sounds simple, but it does take a lot of work. And you say to yourself, but what can I do? I'm just one little person. What can I do? You can do your part. Spiritualism teaches personal responsibility. There is nobody out there in the world who can think for you. But what happens? You get around people who are thinking a certain way, and then your thoughts start to buy into the way they're thinking. And before you know it, you're with those like-minded people. And whatever negativity or positivity they're putting out. Remember when you were a kid and your mother always said, choose your friends carefully, for you will be known by who you associate with. Does anybody remember that? I had one of those mothers. But it was good because it was very helpful. You know, and I thought as a child, I thought, well, I don't want to be associated with people who are getting in trouble all the time and people who are doing drugs and doing the wrong things. And I was very fortunate that I stayed out of that world. Even going to a Christian school, there were still those people around. So how do you fill yourself? How do you gain that peace within? How do you maintain that stability? Because I'm going to tell you something, the God spark in you is there, never goes away. But what do we do when we see somebody? We judge. Oh, well, that person doesn't look very good. You know, they're wearing tattered shoes or you know, they have blue hair or whatever you think. And then when you start on that judgment path, what does that do? Brings your energy down. Because I'm going to tell you, if we all stripped of our physical body, we're all the same. And to look inside and see the interior of people, not the exterior. This is just a coat that we put on to move through this world. It's just easier to have a physical body to utilize the tools that we have. But it's not who we are. We can be so much more. So how do you help it? Well, healing. Everybody needs healed. There isn't a single person on this earth who doesn't need healing of some kind. Whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. Everybody needs healing. Because we've put all those thoughts in our head. And we've allowed them to affect our physical being. Because what you think is who you are. And there are many healthcare people now who are saying the mind has so much effect on the physical body. They're connected. Hello, it's all in the same place, right? Mm-hmm. They're connected so closely. So what you think continually will happen. Now, I know COVID's going around. I can tell because everybody's wearing masks. Are you afraid of getting it? Are you living in fear? Are you walking around like, don't get near me, don't breathe on me? No. But you have to do your part. I mean, you can't walk around without a mask and hugging everybody. No, okay, never mind. You can't hug everybody. You can't get, right now, that is as far as we know. That is what we know that the doctors are telling us. Social distance, mask, wash your hands. Now, I don't know about you, but washing your hands goes back to when you were how old? This is not a new concept. Staying away from sick people, not really a concept. But everybody needs healing. Whether you've had COVID, whether you know somebody who's had COVID, whether you know somebody who's passed who's had COVID, everybody needs healing. People are feeling the emotional turmoil of the world now. I mean, you can't turn on the news and not hear about people fighting and arguing. But you can do something so simple and so easy. It doesn't take any effort whatsoever. You sit and you send out love and you send out healing to everybody, because everybody needs it. Everybody wants to feel important, appreciated, loved, and that they matter. Every person wants that. Send that love and healing out. Send that energy out. It'll take what, 5, maybe 10 minutes out of your day. But remember, that goes out like ripples. When you throw a pebble in the pond, the ripples go out. Your thought goes out. And it is felt by those you send healing to. It has to be. It's natural law. The law of vibration. You send that out. Harry Edwards, if you ever get a chance to read one of his books, phenomenal, phenomenal. He writes a lot about healing. And he talks about something called bodily intelligence. And he states that every single cell in your body has the ability to heal. Now, let me just give you some examples. Okay, so you're in the kitchen and you're chopping up your onions or celery or carrots or whatever you chop up. Maybe you're not quite as careful as you should be with the knife. Although I have learned after many times of nicking myself to be more careful. And you cut your finger. What happens in your body? Getting all nursey again a little for you. The body says, oh my gosh, quick, everybody, we're bleeding. Come on, everybody, get here, get here. One organism functioning in a unit together for the highest and the best. So all the platelets come running in, and all the white cells come running in to prevent infection. And before you know it, it clots and it stops bleeding. Right? How many people do you know that you've sent healing to and that you've sent that thought out, and strangely enough, they get better? You know, Harvard did a study on people who had open heart surgery. They tried to make the people as close as they could, you know, in demographics and in disease process. And they found that the people who were prayed for healed quicker and better and faster than those who were not prayed for. Let me tell you again how powerful your thoughts are. Have you ever been having a bad day and you keep thinking, oh, is this day ever going to get any better? When is this day going to get better? When is my boss going to be happy? And you start down that pathway. And then strangely enough, your day just doesn't seem to get much better. until you make the decision, until you are responsible and you reset that thought pattern. Go to the bathroom, sit there, take some deep breaths. Envision in yourself that divine spark. Because we are all a part of God. We are all a part of Spirit. That's who we are. When we leave this physical body, that's who we really are, is that spark of light, that divine being. And then we get to go to the spirit world. And no, we don't flutter around with wings, and we still aren't perfect. I know some of us are real close here to being perfect, but when you get over there, it's all about thought energy, thought vibration. That's what it is. Because you don't have a physical body over there, right? So what do you do over there? You have thoughts. You think. You think someplace and you are. So all of those of you who want to go to Hawaii or wherever who haven't been there, guess what? When you go to Spirit, you can. But your thoughts are so powerful. Let me give you another example. I'm going to ask a question and I want to see hands. How many of you meditate? Where does meditation take place? In your head, in your thoughts. Because what do? You close your eyes, which is doing what? Shutting out the external world. And you tune into that divine spark. Some of you have done guided meditations and you follow along with those. But where is that world? Here. You're not physically there. Just like when Annette was doing the healing. You weren't physically there, but you were there in your mind, in your thoughts. So it's not hard to regenerate energy. It's not hard to change your thoughts. You just got to close your eyes and go within. Meditate. Touch in with that. How many of you have done a meditation and it has been so clear and so concise that you could swear it was real? Right? Because your mind doesn't know whether it's really happening or whether it's here. Is the wall yellow? Ooh, tricky question. Or is it because you've been taught that that vibration of color is yellow? So you have termed that yellow. So when you go out through your day and you see something happening and you go, oh, God, that's horrible. You don't know that. People go through challenges. You know, you go to the store and they're out of your Lysol cleaning wipes. You know I had to throw that in there. It's not awful. The world isn't going to end, but what do you do in your brain? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? What am I going to... You know, it may send you researching on Google. How to make your own hand gel, how to make your own sanitizer. It's all out there, trust me. I know. But because of that one incident, you don't have to go down that pathway. You don't have to think of that as negative. Maybe it's there to teach you something else. So you didn't get the job. So you didn't get a raise. Okay. Maybe it's because you weren't supposed to be at that job. Maybe it's because there's someplace else you're supposed to be. Perhaps you're driving down the road and you didn't get the light. Maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe there was going to be an accident there. Maybe it made you turn. Have you ever taken detours? I know, I see in Orlando, I'm sure y'all have taken detours. Driving over here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't remember all these roads. I have GPS, so I kind of just, anyway. But yeah, you take a detour and find out there was an accident. Even something that you think is horrible can have good effects. What if you get pulled over for a ticket? For driving too fast, running a stoplight, I don't know, whatever. And you think, oh God, this is horrible. I have to pay $250. Where am I going to get the money for that? But maybe it saved your life. Because for the next period of time, you're going to be like, I am stopping at every stop, and I am going to just make sure that everybody sees me stop. Or I'm going to make sure I do the speed limit, cruise control. But see, you interpret things as good or bad according to how you've been thinking all your life. So if you're not liking what you're seeing, guess whose fault it is? Yours. You are responsible. You make your own happiness or unhappiness. You do it. Nobody else. I can come up to you and barrage you with a bunch of negative comments, and you can go inside yourself and say, you know what? I am spirit within. I don't have to pull that stuff in. How many times do you get hooked into somebody pulling you in? I know nobody here, but I'm just saying, just for an example, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. And then you start to make their thoughts your thoughts. And then you start to feel that way. Stop. Just stop, but first you have to notice it. First you have to notice it. You got to kill those ants. Automatic, negative thinking. Kill them. Stop it. Just stop it when you notice yourself, and you can even get a friend and buddy up with this. Go, hey, if I start talking negative, I want you to give me a nudge, or I want you to give me that look, or I want you to give me the mommy look, right? Because you kids know what the mommy look is, right? I'm a mother, I know I can still give that look. My daughter's like, ooh, and she's 35. Grandkids know it too. But you can change anytime you want. But you're the only one who can change. People outside can't do it for you. I would love to change you if I could. Like I tell all my patients, my magic wand is in the shop. They've had it for about 10 years now, so I'm probably not going to get it back. But what can I do? I can give you a smile. I can give you a kind word. I can hold a door open for you. Doesn't take a lot of money. Doesn't take a lot of effort. I would say give somebody a smile, but nobody can see our faces. But you can smile with your eyes. That is how we will help this world change. But it starts with you. If every one of you would go out there and do your part and send that love. You do it for your family. When your family member's sick, you're all over it. Let me help. What can I do? What can I get you? Where can I take you? Do you need anything from the store? But we're all family. We're all connected. Do that for everybody. It's easy. Send that love. Send that energy. Send that peace. Send that healing. Just take 5-10 minutes out of your day every day. I'm sure you have 5-10 minutes. Even if it's when you're in the bathroom, you still have 5 or 10 minutes. H.G. Burroughs states, to lead a spiritual life, we must think only of higher and more beautiful things and not permit our thoughts to dwell upon the lower things of life. We need to close the door to non-spiritual emotions, such as jealousy, anger, hatred, lewdness, vulgarity. For as a person thinketh in their heart, so they are. Our thoughts today become our actions of tomorrow. Keep your thoughts of love, peace, and joy. Remember, your thoughts are things, and they are very powerful. God bless you.